Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Four of Swords. Four of Swords is kind of like we're making peace with something, right? I think you're somebody who is trying to be kind of balanced. You're trying not to be biased. You're trying to be a good listener. I think there's a situation right now where you're trying to contain yourself and not express you're trying to be objective, right? We're trying not to just kind of give our opinion on something. We're trying to stay calm and listen. Sometimes this is a card of fortifying ourselves mentally so that we can handle a stressful situation. This is a 4, not a 5, right? Anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5 of Swords. Okay, where's the stress coming from? Because this is us kind of saying like, I'm not going to be stressed out about this. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to listen. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to freak out. So there's a situation going on where we're trying to, perhaps we've just gotten away from a difficult situation, and we're sort of we're flowing toward calmer waters. Okay, this could be maybe the idea that we know we have to do something stressful. So we're preparing ourselves beforehand. We're going to go forward into the 5 of Swords. And on the other side, we get the 6 of Swords. We'd get the calm waters, afterwards. The harmony, the resolution, the positive outcome. Okay, the positive outcome. This is the preparation before that stressful journey. Before we go into a stressful situation, we sort of have to prime ourselves. We've got to sort of we've got to pump ourselves up a little bit. We've got to get ready, Let's put this card into a little bit of context and see what you might be up to. 10 of Wands. 3 of Swords. 3 of Cups. 7 of Cups. And there's that objective Queen of Swords. So you're moving into a situation that you're addressing an issue. You're addressing an issue that seems to be it's something you care about, but it seems to be a little bit off balance. It seems to be a little bit of a one-sided relationship. Maybe this is a work situation. Maybe this is a friendship. Maybe this is a romantic partner or a family member that we're going to address the relationship between us and that person or that situation. Feels like it's already something that you feel is all on your shoulders, like you feel like you're doing all the work. Right? And then here it is, you got to kind of mentally prepare yourself to go and maybe do the work or have the conversation about it. The 7 of Cups might be the realization that we're in just some muddy waters right now, that we're putting all of our effort into something, and maybe the 4 of Swords is we wake up in the morning, we mentally prepare ourselves for going into work, into the stressful situation where we're going to have to do probably an unfair amount of the labor, right? We're going into a situation that feels like it's not all that healthy for me, that it's kind of it's almost, let's say, almost a toxic situation, but perhaps it's one that we know I've just got to get through it for a time and then it'll be done. Maybe we're having a conversation that says, look, I'm not happy. I'm not in a very good alignment with the way things are going. We're trying to prepare ourselves for that conversation so that we can be objective and reasonable and calm and communicate effectively. Over here we have the confidence, but also a little bit of a difficult time kind of controlling our our strength here, okay? And we're just getting we're kind of mad at this, and it's like it takes a lot of effort to keep ourselves calm, okay? I'm not going to freak out. This is the card that really has that appetite and wants to kind of rage out on something, you know? Here we have a 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, Swords, and Pentacles, and a 3 of, well, you got all the 3s, don't you? The 3 of Wands, and so I feel like this is involving your efforts to try to harmonize a situation that's going on, whether it's a work thing or a family thing. Like you're taking it upon yourself to try to get everything together and get it organized. I feel like you care about this thing. Maybe there's a group of people or the situation, and you're trying to get everybody out of the mud. Okay, let's keep going here. We have a 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is a continued fight. So you are pulling yourself and perhaps some others out of the mud, right? This is the effort, 7 and 7. You're pulling this group out of this kind of stagnant situation. Okay, I think we need the mental clarity. We need the objectivity. You are moving. You're kind of moving from calm waters into a difficult situation, into some objectivity, and I feel like the calm waters will be ahead of us too. So it's kind of like you're preparing yourself. You're getting your armor on. You're getting up your courage because you're going to go into a challenging situation. Okay, I think a shift in your thinking is going to help you gain a little bit of detachment and a little bit of understanding of this situation. We're trying to rise above it, so to speak. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it right here with Bubo, the mechanical owl, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Let's use our intuition, okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see one major arcana energy, and it is that Leo Lust Strength card. That is the only one, okay? And so the important lesson for you, the big picture spiritual lesson is, how do we control ourselves, right? Do we have the ability to restrain, right? This is a beast inside of us that, again, just wants to kind of rage out, right? Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to have some kind of self-control. We have an ability to control ourselves. We don't have to give expression to every anger, every frustration, every all this ferocious energy we have. We don't have to let the beast out, We can regulate that a little bit, okay? Or at least that's the idea here, is that sometimes the greatest show of strength is not in showing our strength, but in how contained and composed we can be. How objective, how fair. Maybe you're coming into something and you're the one that has to kind of mediate the problem between others. You're trying to kind of step into perhaps like a leadership kind of role here. Okay. I feel like there is some assistance to you. I think your connection with Spirit is helping to guide you through this situation a little bit. So we've got fire, fire, fire. We got the water right at the top. This kind of seems to be the issue, the 3 and the 7 of cups. How do we take this? This thing has the potential to be really, really great, really satisfying, really fun, really fulfilling. But right now we're kind of stuck. We're stuck. Maybe this is a relationship, a romantic thing. We're stuck somewhere. This good, lot of potential, but it's stuck. So we're not going to abandon it. Right? You're driving your car, you get the car stuck in the mud, you're not just saying, well, I guess I don't have a car now. No, you're going to help the car, aren't you? You're going to flag down some people, maybe the highway patrol or state trooper or something, and say, hey, I need some help. Can you give me a push? And we actually had to do that in one of our old cars. We had this old Honda Fit from like 2007. A little orange Honda Fit, and we went to a swap meet. It's like a flea market kind of thing. And it was just after a heavy rain. It was the next day, mud. The whole parking lot was mud. And our little car couldn't handle it. We needed to get some college kids to help push us out of the mud there. It was fun. But that's kind of the situation. We didn't just get out of the car and say, well, I guess we're walking home. No, we said, how are we going to fix this problem? It's stressful. Yeah, it's like level 10 kind of responsibility and stress, and it'd be easy to freak out. Okay, but we're going to try not to do that. So I think that there is some guidance, some unseen guidance, or maybe even the 10 of Wands is sometimes like there is help around you that we can call in and we can say to a random person, hey, come give me a push. Okay? So assistance may be available to you, whether this is seen or unseen, that's going to help you navigate a very stressful situation that you're going to be entering into or that you're already in. Okay? The Queen of Swords with the Three of Swords is kind of about this emotional processing. Okay? We're creating space for a resolution here. We're not free of the pain. There's still something that is difficult to handle, whether we're talking the immediate situation, which is the Seven of Cups, or your relationship with kind of your own personal history back in time, right? There's some deeper emotional processing going on. We're not completely free of the pain. We're creating a space for the resolution. See, the Four of Swords. We're trying to leave the past behind us and surrender the old baggage. This is kind of like, we're not going to throw a bunch of old things in your face when we're in an argument, And I'm certainly going to try to understand how my personal history is entering into the conversation or the dialogue or into the space that we've created together, And I feel like this is important because a lot of the time when you're going into a stressful situation, a lot of our unconscious complexes will become activated, and it's going to take over our organism and how we behave. And then we're not going to be able to control ourselves. It's going to be just instinctual. So we have to have that Queen of Swords that's recognizing that, okay, I don't want to run all these old programs from my childhood, from my young adulthood, from all my past stuff. I don't want all of that to run the show. I want to be in control of the show, I want to be in control of my energy, so I have to recognize where there are these unconscious complexes that are becoming activated that are there to, help protect me. They think they are. They think they're protecting us. But I want to decide which one to run, or not to run any. I want to decide how I'm going to respond to this situation that you're in right now. Okay. So we're trying to surrender some of the old baggage, even if we don't quite know like what the outcome is going to be. We're creating the space for the resolution, and that's our Four of Swords, right? So the detachment is really important. The Queen of Swords is detached from the emotional realities, and really is detached from the unconscious as well, right? You see how high up in the sky this card is. It's kind of getting a bird's eye view. And it's kind of like we're letting go of the baggage, we're letting go of our expectations, we're clearing the space, right? We're trying to tap into our intuition a little bit. Going way high up in the atmosphere puts us closer to the starlight, symbolically speaking. And that's where we get a little bit of the influence from the divine, from the infinite, energy, the spiritual light, that can inform us a little bit and give us a more objective view on how to handle this and how to get through it in a way that is positive and constructive and to get the outcome we want. Maybe we're trying to have a conversation with our spouse or partner, best friend, or the boss at work. Or we're trying to navigate a situation that feels pretty emotionally muddy, right? Maybe we're not sure how we feel. Maybe we're not sure how much of what we feel is actually our feelings now or how much is from the past. Okay? We're choosing peace over chaos. Okay? When your inner world is calm, your ability to manifest your desired outcome is going to flow more easily. Okay, so we're able to direct our energy in a much better way. And in some ways, this is saying, let's put all of our past stuff behind us and let's see if we can work together, right? This kind of looks like a 2 of wands here in this 10, which is showing the partnership, the connection. It may be that I've got to find a way to form an alliance with the people around, even if this is the situation that I'm uncomfortable in, that I feel this kind of negative, unpleasant emotion about. This is the issue, but this is also the solution. It's the cause of and the solution to all of life's problems, right? Quote Homer Simpson. And so I feel that this is kind of like we're trying to take the high road a little bit. We're trying to control ourselves and realize that we need to come together as a team, that we need to share the work here, or whatever exactly your situation is. The 4 of Swords is really the key. This is kind of a mental decluttering, an energetic clearing. Okay, we're releasing the limiting beliefs, the mental loops, toxic perspectives. We're opening ourselves up to new outcomes. Okay, because, well, 3 of Cups, we believe in the potential that this situation has. We're not abandoning this just because it gets a little muddy. We're saying, I still believe in this. This still can be really, really wonderful, and we're going to see what we can get. We're going to see if we can save this thing, if we can make it work. So we're in kind of this in-between state, right? We're sort of going from a nice sunny day into a swamp. We're hoping for a nice sunny day again. Okay, but this in-between state, we can still, plant the seeds. We can still, harmonize what's going on here. Yeah. So let's talk about the path of the serpent. We start with, of course, your general energy, the strength card or the lust card. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. This is, again, it's your ability to control your expression of yourself. We don't have to say everything that comes to mind. I don't have to give expression to every negative emotion I have. Every impulse that I have doesn't need to have that expression. I can pick and choose and regulate myself, But at the same time, we don't want to ignore what our instinctual energy is telling us, right? We don't want to avoid how we feel. So it's kind of like, well, yeah, I feel that 7 of Cups. I'm not going to pretend I don't feel it. Okay. So how do we harmonize this? Or maybe this is the realization too, that maybe we need to move on from this. But we're not going to make that decision until we face this head on and try to get that clear, try to clear that space, try to cooperate. We're going to try to make it work. Okay. And I think that this card is a confidence. This is a courage. That's saying, I'm going to go into this situation and I'm going to do my best to make it work, whatever that means, to harmonize things, to bring things together, to make it functional again, to bring about harmony and resonance, maybe, to get back into the flow, But I'm also courageous enough to know that if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This is our ability this is confidence. And confidence isn't just me saying, okay, I'm going to go into this, I'm going to fix it, everything's going to be fine, everyone's going to work together, I'm going to get the harmony, it's going to work. I mean, we have to believe in our capabilities, but confidence is our ability to say, I'm going to go into this, I'm going to do my very best, I'm going to believe that it can work, I'm going to try everything I can, but if it doesn't, I'm still going to be okay. That is confidence, okay? And that kind of gives us the freedom. It's sort of like it frees us from an attachment to the outcome. Whatever the outcome is, I'm going to be okay. Now I'm free to focus my energy on fixing this thing. Now I'm not so worried about the outcome that I can devote all of my energy to making the outcome. If I do the work, if I do the work kind of, unattached, I guess, then the outcome that I want is pretty much guaranteed. But if I'm so worried about the outcome, it sort of splits my attention up in a way, right? Okay, so the Three of Pentacles in the environment, this is you understanding the process of creation on the physical plane. Now, this is our first encounter with the earth energy. So this is saying that, hey, look, you know how to make things work. You know how things need to operate together. But this is saying something's not working right. Like, it may be a good configuration, but this is like that little car, kind of looks like my old Honda Fit, and it's stuck in the mud. Okay, so we know what we need to do. We understand how things work. Just the idea of kind of making them work. It's the challenge that we're facing. Okay, so it's not through a lack of communication or understanding or belief or anything like that. It's really about doing that physical labor, really. It's kind of like I know how to fix the car. I know how engines work. I know what tires do and all that stuff. But that doesn't help me until I actually get my hands dirty and get the wrench and get the grease and start doing the thing with the little ratchet thing or whatever. And I start actually moving the materials around, okay? But before we can do any of that, we have to have this mental clarity. Before we can get the outcome that we want, we've got to get rid of any of the kind of mental fog, okay? We can't manifest from a chaotic mind. So this is about us finding the stability in our mind. Okay, directing our thoughts in a very peaceful and purposeful way. Okay, and again, it's kind of, this is that underlying chaos. We have to release this. We have to release even our emotional reaction to the situation, old patterns, thoughts, and beliefs. And then, of course, our current emotional state, we need that kind of, I'm peaceful, I'm okay, I'm letting go of all. We're not attached to any of the feelings or the thoughts, right? We're kind of letting it all go. We're letting go to let the flow happen. Okay. I think maybe in a way too, you're being asked to leave behind something. That's very often what the Three of Swords is talking about. So maybe we're letting go of like an expectation, that we expected things to sort of play out a certain way, that we expected the plan to be like a certain, to navigate a certain way. And maybe we're like, if we let go of that, then we can really just step into the flow. Like maybe the reality before us isn't matching up with the plan that I had. And so there's an incongruence. There's an asymmetry here, right? If we let go of our expectations, we can just be in the flow and we can let something unfold in a natural way. Okay? And I think that's a big part of our Three of Swords with our Three of Cups. Yeah. So the way I look at it is I don't think we are where we were before, and we're not yet where we want to be. Okay? So we're using this in-between kind of space to understand our alliances, to understand our thoughts, our unconscious programming, but also our fluctuating emotions. Okay? And maybe this is a card of like objective planning, that I'm going to figure out a way to get through this without being too heavily influenced by my immediate feelings or my unconscious tendencies and complexes, right? And this energy is really what it takes for us to maintain this level of kind of inner objectivity in order to focus on the right plan, right? What you dwell on mentally is what you're going to strengthen. So it takes a lot of strength to sort of direct our thoughts in the right way. We're choosing what to focus on. We're choosing on what we want, not necessarily on what we don't have or what is in the past or what we're kind of leaving behind or what the expectations were. Okay? We have to visualize the next chapter. Okay? How does it look? How does it feel? How does it sound? Etc. Right? And that's kind of up here with the Three of Wands, learning how to direct our energy. And I'm not trying to just focus on what the feelings were yesterday or what the potential could have been or what my expectations were or what my plan was. I'm trying to direct my energy forward and say, okay, what do I do with what I have right now? How do I move forward and get the outcome that I want? Okay, it's all about where we're pointing our eyes, where we're pointing our attention, And so the Seven of Wands becomes again, more courage. We've got a strong connection with the Leo energy here. I'd watch the Leo reading if I were you, because this is an energy that says I'm not going to give up. Okay, I'm not going to quit on this thing. Now it may be that this is a situation where you do have to kind of leave your expectations behind, and maybe it's going to take you in a different direction, away from certain people and toward different things. But you are not giving up on the dream, or the outcome, or the wish that you have, which kind of, it does originate back here, even though the plan, or the people involved might not be what you thought they were. Okay. So I think the stillness is what is needed. Right, the stillness to kind of see things for what they truly are. Maybe we are recognizing the Seven of Cups, and we're thinking, okay, I'm going to do what I can do to make this work. If it doesn't work, I kind of am going to be open to a new plan unfolding. Okay, I'm going to try to let Spirit guide me a little bit. But the Seven of Wands is not necessarily you banging your head against the same wall over and over and over again. We don't want to do that. If this exact situation, the details, all the players involved, if this isn't working, we're not going to try to force it. We're going to do what we can to try to make it work. But there comes a point where we realize that I've tried everything, it's not working, now what? And whatever, and I'm not saying that's what's happening, but if that is the case, if that becomes the reality, you've got your Four of Swords, your objectivity, I'm going to stay calm, what do I do from here? If I can't fix this problem, then what do I do? If there's nobody around to help me push my car out of the mud, what's my next option? What am I going to do from there? I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not just saying I'm just going to lie down in the mud and never get home again. No, eventually I'm going to get my family home, whether we're going to take the bus or call an Uber or fly or walk or whatever. Not literally fly, but So we're prepared. We're mentally prepared for whatever is coming next. And that really is true power and true confidence, right? And that's how we really change our world, because we don't like this. We want this, we got this, what do? Well, I'm going to try to fix this and turn it into what I want. Well, if I can't do that, what's the next thing I'm doing? Then what? Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. I'm thinking a six of something. I think we need that harmony, whether it's a six of the cups, the swords, the pentacles, or the wands. I guess it doesn't really matter. We have a lot of these threes, all right? And we kind of need the other half. Maybe we're going to get another three. We need the connection, because something isn't connecting right. This three wants to connect with what it needs, with what it wants, with its aspirations and its desires. It's sort of, you're a square peg looking for a square hole, and you're just trying to find the right thing that you're compatible with, that's going to work, it's going to harmonize. And we feel like maybe this situation is it. Let's see, let's try it. But let's be honest with ourselves. If we reach that point where it says, no, there's no hope, this isn't going to work, I need to know when to walk away, right? But we're never giving up on this dream. We're still this Three of Cups looking for our other Three of Cups that we can combine with. And when we combine, when we find that thing, we create that six, that harmony, that resonance, that consonance. Okay. So I think it's going to be a six. Maybe it's a three or a six anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, there we go. There we go. Three and Three of Swords is a Six of Swords. We're recognizing now what the new plan is. I think that this is us. This is us kind of going in a new direction. It feels like, right? It feels like we're trusting our feelings here, realizing that we have to get sort of a bird's eye view of how we feel. The Queen of Swords here, they've risen above the waters, right? So the Queen of Swords can look at the water and see it for what it is. Oh, I can look down. I'm detached enough from my emotions that I can look at them objectively and say, okay, that's what it is. And that's how I'm understanding those feelings. When you're in the middle of the mud, it's very hard not to just react in that muddy kind of frustration, right? We have to step back from our feelings and look at them objectively and see. And now I think that you're getting this clarity. This is clarity. Okay. This is clarity about what the next step is, what the rest of the journey is going to require for you. This is a card of harmony. This is a card of like a successful outcome. It's kind of like saying that we went through a stressful conversation, we reached a consensus, we reached an agreement, and it's very successful, right? But this is also showing a card of travel, you know? This is showing a card and showing an energy of trusting your emotions. You got your swords on the boat. I recognize my unconscious tendencies. I know what my worries are. I know what my challenges are. I know I got this stress. All the swords are on the boat. But the swords aren't driving the boat. Our will is driving the boat over the waters of our emotions. We're not really going with the flow of our emotions, but we are saying that the emotions matter. Okay, the emotions are where we're sort of, it's the water on top of which we're sort of floating. We're using our will, our wand, to direct the boat. The boat's us. The boat's our body, right? We're using the wands to direct the boat, and our swords are on the boat with us, but they're not driving the boat. So it's kind of like I'm aware of my complexes, I'm aware of my tendencies, my habits, my history, and how that factors in. I'm aware of my feelings, and I'm going to pay attention to my feelings, but in an objective way. I'm not going to let them determine the flow, okay? I'm going to use my will, my spirit for that. But the water's very important because that's kind of it's the road on which we're traveling. And obviously we want to get to calm waters. We want to get to happiness again. It's not saying, well, I'm paddling around in a swamp and I guess I'm just going to stay here paddling around in the swamp. No, it's saying that I'm going to recognize the swamp I'm in, and I'm going to do everything I can to get to clear waters again, to calm, peaceful, loving, healthy, happy waters. And I'm going to recognize it when I see it. I'm going to go towards happiness and harmony and love and away from the swamp. Okay. And whatever that is necessarily going to mean for you in your life right now. So I think this is a wonderful confirmation. Very strong confirmation. Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.